Hello, how are you doing? Welcome to Lawyers Info Hub. It's always a pleasure to create content on this platform. You're welcome. I'm Mercy, your host on Lawyers Info Hub. Lawyers Info Hub is a platform where we teach law, we simplify legal tips, we share our legal experiences aimed at helping you become a better lawyer, a better advocate, a better law student. So today we are looking at debentures and shares, looking at we want to know out the difference between the two of them. Now, this is one of the courses that are taught that is being taught in company law. Even for people who want to go into corporate practice, you must understand in-house counsel. You must understand debentures. You must understand shares. What are they? What is the nomenclature? What is the difference? So this is just part of our series. So sit tight, and I hope you learn something today. So when you hear the word debenture, what comes to your mind or what is it? You know, now for a company, once a company is registered, it has that capacity, to borrow funds, to borrow, money, to borrow, just to ensure that the company is floated, is thriving. Now, so debenture is an invention of equity. It addresses needs, peculiar borrowing needs of companies. So when a company is being, put up, a lot of people contribute, a lot of people put funds together to ensure the company is doing well. So when these people put funds together, the company, will repay. So debenture is that invention that was put together to ensure so that the company will be held liable by those people who brought money or borrowed them money for issue of repayment is very important. So it's a certificate that is given by a business organization or corporation as a receipt for money lent at a fixed rate. Now the company goes out to borrow funds to run their business, and the person gives them money. I'm just trying to explain to you in the most simplified way. The person gives them money and says, "Okay, take this receipt as evidence that our company borrowed money from you." So that receipt they are giving the person is a debenture. And the fact that these funds we borrowed from you, we're going to repay at a fixed interest. Do you understand? So we're going to be paying you the interest until the principal sum is what repaid. So it is an acknowledgement of what indebtedness that a company gives to their creditors. So, when you hear the word debenture, it is like an acknowledgement of what indebtedness, a receipt a company gives to those they have borrowed funds from. Now, in the case of Fasaki against Fasaki is a 1994 decided case for Nigerian Weekly Law Report part 340 at 597. Yeah, in that case, the Court of Appeal, in describing what a debenture is, stated that it is a document which either creates or acknowledges a debt. A document that creates or acknowledges a debt. Though no precise definition can be found, it is accepted that the term itself imports a debt, an acknowledgement of what? A debt. So when a company borrows money from individuals, corporate organizations, that document they give to the person or the corporation as an evidence that we borrowed money from them or borrowed money from you is what a debenture is, like a certificate, it's like a receipt, it's like an acknowledgement to show to XYZ company is owing WC company 2 million naira, 200 million, and that we're going to be paying at a fixed interest rate of what 5% or 10% till the principal sum is what repaid. So that was what the case was trying to what explain. So once there is a debenture, there is an obligation to what or a covenant to what to repay. Now, in our present time and age, under the corporate setting, this obligation in most cases is accompanied by a charge or security. That is it. They need something. What is the guarantee that the company will pay? So the obligation to pay is accompanied by some form of security, some kind of form of collateral, so that the person giving the funds is assured that even if you go bankrupt or even if the company can't pay you, you have something to lay hold of. So a debenture is like a document that acknowledges and contains the terms of a loan. Yes, the terms of what a loan is a certificate that is issued by a company acknowledging a loan given to the company by the holder of the debenture. So you can call a debenture a certificate, you can call a debenture a receipt of loan, you can call a debenture an acknowledgement of loan. But you must note that there's always an interest repayable until the full principal sum is what paid. So the court in that case I mentioned in Fasaki against Fasaki stated that the debenture a under seal of the debt. The second one, we have an instrument acknowledging the debt and charging the property of the company with repayment. So we have a type of debenture that just a simple acknowledgement of debt that is under seal. We have another type of debenture, which is an instrument that, in as much as it's acknowledging the debt, but it is charging the property of the company with a repayment in terms of making reference to the security or the collateral attached to that loan. We have another type, which is an instrument acknowledging the debt, charging the property of the company with repayment, and further restricting the company from giving priority to any prior charge on the property. That means, yes, this type of debenture, it acknowledges the debt that the company is owing, is charging the property of the company to the repayment of the debt, and it further goes to restrict the company from giving priority to any prior charge on the. So if there was a prior charge on the property because of the debenture, that type of debenture is saying our own loan or repayment comes earlier in time than any prior charge on this property. So these are the three forms of debenture: the simple acknowledgement on the seal, the instrument acknowledging the debt, charging the property of the company to the repayment. The third one, an instrument that is acknowledging the debt, that is charging the property of the company to the repayment, and a further restriction on the company from giving priority to any previous or prior charge on the property. Now, you see, once a company has been incorporated, it has the power to borrow money for the purposes of what is business, actualizing its object, and it may even, charge or mortgage its properties and issue debentures. A company can go around, getting funds from people, then they will now, if there are properties that the company own, they use it as a security, as an undertaking, to issue debentures. So debentures are instruments that are issued by the company to its lenders to acknowledge that the company is owing them, to acknowledge the indebtedness of the company. Now, we now look at shares. What is the difference between a debenture and a share? See, a debenture is not a share. I've taken time to explain what a debenture is. So you can see that a debenture is not a share. Debentures are simply specialty debts due from the company, which may or may not be secured by a charge on the company's assets. A debenture holder, a person who has loaned money to the company, is not a member of that company, but a creditor of the company. A debenture holder has no shares in the capital of the company, and he has a right of repayment. So his right of payment is not dependent on the profits of the company. Whether the company is making profit or is not making profit, the company must pay those that it is owing. So a debenture holder is a creditor, is not a shareholder. He does not rely on the profit of the company, but his debt must be paid to him, whether the company is making profit or not. A shareholder has a voice in the management of a company, but a debenture holder has nothing, has no voice, does not contribute to the management of the company. His business is that the company is owing me and they are paying me. How the company is run is not his business. But a shareholder is involved, to know how the company is functioning. He has a voice in the management of the company, and wants to know what is interested even in the profit that the company is making. But the debenture holder is not interested in the profit. What is interested that the money I loan the company is being repaid back. So a debenture holder as a creditor has the right to sue the company, but a shareholder has no right. Such rights. Yes. Now, the share capital of a company represents the contribution of a shareholder, towards the share capital of the company. Rather, why a shareholder, has a claim on the company in terms of his contribution to the shareholdings of the company or the share capital of the company. A debenture holder or cannot claim to be a part of the company. Rather, his concern is that this is evidence that the company is paying me, and my concern is that my money is paid. I'm not interested in how much profit, how the shareholders are getting their benefits. He's not interested in all of that. So you can see that a debenture is one of the methods of raising capital for what a company. Now, it's also important to know that the money that are raised from debenture holders contribute to the share capital of the what company. So it's wrong to say a debenture and a shareholder, or shares are the same. No, they are two different things. Now, you must understand this exception, which is where a debenture is secured by a mortgage of immovable property, they constitute actionable claims. So a debenture can be a choosing action and is in a nature of actionable claim and is as such subject to what equities. You must understand these few exceptions. So the amount that is raised by debentures, they're often called the loan capital. So you have to, it's different from share capital. So the money raised from debentures called loan capital is called loan capital, which is different from share capital. So the loan capital, although is not a legal term, but is an commercial expression, that's used to indicate the total amount that was borrowed by the company, from people in order to increase their share capital. So loan capital can include both the debentures, mortgages, the loan stock, and all of that. So a debenture is different from a share, and debenture holder is different from a shareholder. I just hope this little explanation, is you're able to understand the difference. In debenture, we talk about the loan the company is what owing people, and that debenture is evidence of acknowledgement of that loan. Whereby a shareholder is a part of the company who has contributed to the share capital of the company and benefits from the profits of the company. If you have any question, I just hope we'll be able to just dissect these things for ease of understanding. So when you hear people talk about debenture, I'm a debenture holder, and another person says I'm a shareholder, you must know the difference. You must know the difference between the loan capital and the share capital. I just hope you've been able to learn something. For those who are watching us live, we appreciate. For those who watch later, thank you for joining this great family. We have hundreds of videos that explains legal terms, legal concepts, processes aimed at helping you to become a better lawyer, a better advocate. If you're yet to subscribe to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button. Join us so that you get notifications once we go live, or once we are doing uploading a video, or once we're doing anything that will be beneficial to you. For our returning subscribers, we thank you, we thank you, we thank you. For those who will join us also, we thank you. Just click the subscribe button, join us as a family. This channel, is knowledge full. It's full of impact, knowledge, light, yes, that will eradicate the darkness of ignorance from you. Do take care of yourself. I know that you can always be the best. If you have any question, drop it as a comment. We'll revert back to you. Thank you.